Christmas, everyone, from Mark Rogers and Mark Rogers TV. We hope you enjoy our college football videos, and we also hope you enjoyed your holiday with family and friends, and hope you remember the reason for the Christmas season. All right, we are running through in this series all the postseason games, all the bowl teams, and their postseason history. Had a lot of fun doing this. It's brought back a lot of memories. We've got 3 games on December 26th. Starting with the Zaxby's Heart of Dallas Bowl. Big 12 versus Pac-12. We've got Utah 6-6, 3-6 in the Pac-12, taking on West Virginia. 5-4 in the Big 12, 7-5 overall. The last time West Virginia took on a Pac-12 team was 2 seasons ago in a bowl game. They defeated Arizona State 43-42 in the Cactus Bowl. A very entertaining game. I remember it well. Game MVP was Skylar Howard, the quarterback for West Virginia. Okay, the last time Utah played a Big 12 team, we have to go all the way back to 2004 when they beat a current SEC team, Texas A&M 41-21 in 2004. Okay, the Heart of Dallas Bowl to be played 1:30 Eastern Time on ESPN at the Cotton Bowl. The Cotton Bowl that used to be home of the Cotton Bowl, but it's now relegated as basically a high school stadium for the Zaxby's Heart of Dallas Bowl. Utah, I'm going to guess at this point, is going to have the best winning percentage of any bowl team we review. 16-5 all time. Kyle Whittingham, more recently, is 9-1 in postseason play. Before him, Urban Meyer, 2-0 in his 2 Utah Bowl appearances. And right before that, Ron McBride coached this team, to a number of bowl appearances, but his last 2 were wins. That means 2-0, 2-0, 9-1. Utah has won 13 of its last 14 bowl games. It all started in 1939 with a Sun Bowl win over New Mexico, 26-0. In fact, the only time West Virginia and Utah have ever met on the gridiron was in a bowl game in the 1964 Liberty Bowl, and Utah won it 32-6. Ron McBride had those last 2 wins. Impressively, he defeated USC, and this was back in 1996. So you got to consider at this point USC taking on Utah, a group of 5, even though we didn't use that term back then, a lower division, lower conference team. This was a monumental upset. Utah over USC 10-6 in the Las Vegas Bowl in 1992. I remember well the Copper Bowl of 1996. Wisconsin ran all over Utah 38-10. Ron Dane, 246 yards and 3 touchdowns in that game. All right, let's bring it to the 2000s and the Fiesta Bowl. Urban Meyer's 13-0 team finished off that season defeating Pitt, the Big East champion in the BCS era, 35-7. Alex Smith, still playing football, 29 of 37, 328 yards and 4 touchdowns in that game as Utah again finished at 13-0, number 4 in the country. Utah again in the 2008 season was not given the opportunity to compete for a national championship. So they had an undefeated team again, just 4 years later, this time under Kyle Whittingham, and they were matched up against Alabama, who was undefeated but lost to Florida in the SEC championship game. And Utah was a huge underdog and came out ready to play. Brian Johnson had a tremendous game at quarterback, and the Utes downed the Tide and Nick Saban 31-17. They finished 13-0. Utah's last postseason game just last year, they defeated Indiana out of the Big Ten 26-24 with a field goal with 4 minutes left to play. Okay, West Virginia's played 35 bowl games. They're 15-20. It all started in 1922 in the San Diego East-West Christmas Classic. They defeated Gonzaga, the Bulldogs, 21-13. West Virginia had 4 straight Peach appearances in 1969, 72, 75, and 82 against the likes of North Carolina State twice, Florida, and South Carolina. West Virginia, I remember this well, lost 8 consecutive bowl games from 1987 to 98, including, do you remember that West Virginia took on Notre Dame for the national championship at the Fiesta Bowl? and the Irish and Lou Holtz, much too much to handle in that one. Notre Dame won it 34-21. There was a tremendous string that Rich Rodriguez had at West Virginia with quarterbacks Steve Slayton and Pat White just demolishing and running up huge offensive stats and scores against some tremendous teams. 2006 Sugar, they beat Georgia 38-35. 2007 Gator, they topped Georgia Tech 38-35. And then in the 2008 Fiesta, we remember that over Oklahoma after Boise State downed Oklahoma the year before. This time it was West Virginia, 48-28. And in the Car Care Bowl in Pat White's last game, they defeated North Carolina 31-30. 2012, Geno Smith all over Clemson. So keep in mind, other than Clemson losing the national championship game 2 years ago, this was Clemson's last postseason loss. After they won the ACC, went to the Orange Bowl, took on West Virginia, and Geno Smith tore up Clemson. That's when they hired Brent Venables as defensive coordinator after being embarrassed in Miami 70-33. And then last year, West Virginia's bowl outing, they lost to Miami 31-14 in the Russell Athletic Bowl. For the Heart of Dallas, this first was showcased in 2011. The Heart of Dallas Bowl, Texas Tech and Northwestern. The Red Raiders won it 45-38. The Big Ten is 0-4 for the Heart of Dallas Bowl. Northwestern lost that game. Penn State lost to Houston. Purdue was drubbed by Oklahoma State. Illinois downed by Louisiana Tech. So the lowest seed in the Big Ten all those years except for Penn State went to the Heart of Dallas Bowl and lost all those years. In 2016, last year, North Texas and Army, memorable game, and Army pulled it out in overtime 38-31. Utah, West Virginia should be a good one. I will have my prediction and we'll select the rest of the bowl games right here on Mark Rogers TV as we continue our trek down postseason history.